Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Capacaner Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to be telling you what not to do in a couple of different ways when we are in the middle of leak season. And my goodness, this has been one for the books. There are some things that you, well, need to keep in mind, and some things that might, well, pull the rug out from underneath you. So I'm here to let you know what's going on. Let's jump into it. So, first up, looks can be deceiving. This looks like a very legitimate spoiler. This looks like a very legitimate card. And actually, I just messed up right there. I said spoiler. I mean leak. Again, this is not, to my knowledge, a employee of Wizards holding this card and posting it on the official Wizards account on Twitter. No, this was not. This apparently was found on Facebook somewhere, then posted on MTG Rumors, where a lot of the leaks are, ending up essentially. And yeah, this looks very legit. It looks like it's printed like perfectly. Like this looks like a Magic card, and the art is really cool. So, what's the problem here? Well, we'll talk about that right after we talk about the card, because you know what? You could just take it at face value and be like, this is really exciting, right? We got Aether Tutor, and just to make it a little easier, I just put in the format essentially, right? So here you go. It's a sorcery for 5 mana and white. You get 2 energy counters. You may pay an amount of energy. Search life for an artifact or enchantment card made of value X or less for X the number of energy paid this way. Put on the battlefield, then shuffle. And that's a pretty powerful effect. I mean, it's right onto the battlefield, right? If this was just like in your hand, no, not really. That wouldn't be great. Getting an artifact or enchantment that costs 2 or less, essentially, for the most part. Like, sure, if you've got like a full energy deck, then you can probably get something that costs a lot more, but still for 5 mana, tutoring something in your hand, not that great. But right on the battlefield, that can be very, very, very powerful. And of course, yeah, very combo inducing. There's a lot of low to the ground artifacts and enchantments out there. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, like Isochron Scepter costs 2, right? So this could go get Isochron Scepter, get it right into play. And if you've got Dramatic Reversal in your hand, congratulations, you probably win with that. So yeah, there's definitely combos that you could pull this off with. And obviously, if you are, again, in an energy deck, the potential of this is even more. That being said, this card is fake. And it tricked many people online already because, again, that image is very convincing, right? And the actual effect seems like something that Wizards might do. There are definitely some like energy synergies that we've seen so far in some of the other leaks. Some of the other leaks that seem more, not seem more legitimate. Here's like the weird thing, right? Many of the images are posted in potato quality, right? Many of the images we've seen so far are literally taken with a Nokia camera. Nokia, is that even a camera? I don't even know. Taken with a camera from back in the day. What was the flip one? What was that one? What was that one called? The Razor. The Razor, that one. Yeah. Like taken with like a Razor from back in 2008 or whatever it is, essentially, while also running a triathlon at full speed and just like taking it from the side. That seems like many of the images are, right? But sometimes, I'm not going to say every time, but like many times those end up being real too. I don't know why someone's taking pictures in that way, but they are. But then again, when you see an image like the one I showed you that looks very convincing, it's sometimes not real because, well, the art kind of gives it away sometimes. So the art actually was found online. And the art is very beautiful, very amazing, very fantastic. The only problem with it is, well, yeah, again, it was found online, but like not under the artist that was labeled on the card, under a different artist that made this art back in, I believe someone said 2020. So yeah, this art is not being utilized on a Magic card that has the wrong artist labeled on it. And I will try to remember to actually link the actual website. Again, amazing art. There you go. If nothing else happened from this fake leak, again, this one is pretty much, now confirmed to be fake, right? That, hey, at least we got to see some amazing art. And if any of you are interested in this art, go check it out. Absolutely. That being said, do not fall for every single leak you see. And like I say on every single one of these episodes, no matter how convincing something is, take everything I say with a grain of salt and take every leak with a grain of salt, okay? Because nothing is for sure. And sometimes people actually just, again, especially when like a new exciting commander is leaked, people are like, oh, I'm going to build a deck around it right away. And it's like, hold up, be careful, because it's not officially confirmed yet. And no matter how convincing it is, it might end up not being real. And if you built an entire deck around it and you didn't like ask your play group ahead of time, like, hey, if this isn't real, are you okay if I just like proxy this and still play with it? And if they're okay with that, great. If not, you just like wasted however much money on building and time building a deck around that card that you're not going to be able to use. So keep that in mind. That being said, on the other end of things, again, we saw a card that looked so legitimate, right? It looked like really pristine, essentially, right, in the image quality. And then we go to this, which is another card that was recently posted, apparently. And this is really hard to read, but the sleuths on the internet, and I was able to make out a decent amount of it as well, have determined that this is what the card would be, and we shall see if this one is legitimate as well. It's ironically a little harder to kind of confirm if this one's real or not because it's like really hard to read. So again, like that might be why some of these leaks are coming out in this way, but also I've heard people say too that like it's harder to track the image or whatever, like find a location, obviously, if like people don't want to get in trouble is essentially why some people are saying that images are taken in like a very weird way, or like it's like a screenshot of a video that was out there essentially, so like sometimes it's blurry. Regardless, Thunder Peak. Apparently this would be the card. A land, mountain, forest, and it enters the battlefield. You may pay energy. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. The formatting on this one just seems a little weird. And also to me, this would indicate a cycle. And it seems like kind of a strange cycle. And I should say that this is not an actual image of the card. This is a custom card that I made that is utilizing the text and a different art. So there you go. So yes, if I had to guess on one side or the other, and again, I typically give you kind of just my gut check on these, which I've been wrong before. I definitely have. I'd gut check say that this is not legitimate. So again, yes, there are energy synergies that we have seen so far, potentially in other leaks, or at least one other leak that I can think about right now. And you also see like other leaks kind of being confirmed in some ways because, what is it, 2 days ago now at this point when Wizards actually said that, you know, hey, leaks are happening. They actually acknowledged the leaks, which they never do. And then they showed off some cards that some have been shown in the leaks before and some have been shown in a leak that has an image that has a lot of other leaks in it. So it's like that that individual, I don't know if they play Magic or not, they posted it and they actually would have had to have like stolen an actual Magic card or gotten in some other way and then put it next to a bunch of fake ones that they made. So it hardly makes it, you know, seem like that others would be fake. That being said, obviously this one's on its own. This is a very, very blurry picture. It's hard to actually kind of make out a lot of things on the card. I mean, except for in the text you can kind of make out, essentially make some assumptions, but like it's hard to make out like where the artist, what artist it would be and like what the art is. So it would be really hard to like verify if that looks like something the artist did. Yeah, it's not as clear cut as the other one, as Aether Tutor, that one is fake because it is utilizing art from an artist that is not listed on the card from 4 years ago. So yeah, just don't be tricked by these things, please. Again, with all these episodes, I do say like, you know, hey, take everything I say with a grain of salt, and you definitely should on these leaked episodes. And also, just you know what, just be a little suspicious of some of the things that you see when it comes to the leaks and say like, okay, like it seems very legitimate. Go with your gut on it, you know, if you need to go with your gut on it, but also just like take an extra look at it sometimes because sometimes things aren't what they seem. And if you just take a little bit of an extra step to see like, oh, where's that art from? We found it and it is not legitimate, then you will find the right path. Regardless, another thing that you might not want to do is something that I'm going to bring up on this episode as well, and that is going to be purchase certain cards that have already either been confirmed or potentially confirmed, because if they're reprinting this set, their prices are probably going to go down as well. So let's go through those cards right after I mention one thing real quick. Apparently, according to someone on Reddit, thank you, we've got, right now, apparently 11 out of 24 of the mythics have been, again, leaked, so they are not officially confirmed, but apparently have been leaked or revealed so far in spoilers, so a combination of those. And then actually comes the rares. 38 out of the 78 rares have also apparently either been leaked or spoiled by Wizards themselves. Basically, half of the, I mean, like, kind of like, not chase cards, I guess I should say, but typically when it comes to like the ones that many players are interested are usually the rares and the mythics, especially when it comes to like the commanders for that. But yeah, those have been revealed. That being said, parts of things have been revealed too from the pre-cons as well, potentially from the leaks, so keep that in mind as well. But a lot of spoiler season has already leaked out. And again, kind of thought that Wizards had kind of put a little stopper on the leaks at one point. A little while back, and it seems like leaks kept coming out after that anyways. So we shall see what happens between now and May 21st, which is the first day of spoiler season previews. Regardless, now let's talk about the cards that either have been confirmed to be reprinted or have been potentially leaked to be reprinted that you should not be picking up right now and should just wait a little bit if you can to pick those up because those prices should be dropping. So first up, it appears that the Medallion cycle is going to be coming back, which is a relief to some because these prices, well, have been really high to, dropping down a little bit, but still pretty expensive outside of my budget range. Emerald Medallion, very good. Just as an example, we'll just use this one, and then we'll go through the other ones quickly. 2 mana artifact, green spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. It's a very powerful effect. Reducing the cost of all your spells is typically better than ramping. I mean, not all your spells, your green spells. But if you're playing mono green, then basically all your spells. Ramping is very good, obviously, but reducing the cost of your spells just like saves you multiple mana over a turn, so that's absolutely huge. This one's about $6. That should drop down. Jet Medallion, around $16. This is the exact same thing, but in black. Pearl Medallion, $7.78, but in white. Ruby Medallion, $14.23, but in red. And then Sapphire Medallion, $9.92, but in blue. Again, all those prices should be dropping potentially, I believe. I don't think that the medallions actually were released by Wizards as reprints. I think that those were actually leaks, so do keep that in mind. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt, but if you're willing to wait a little bit before picking these up, you might get lucky. Again, if these are actually real leaks, leaks that become spoilers, and then they are reprinted. So yeah, your prices might drop. So again, a little bit of patience with these cards can go a long way. Next up, Chromatic Lantern, a great fixing card for especially 4 or 5 color decks. Artifact for 3, land you control of tap at 1 mana of any color, tap for 1 mana of any color. This card has never been budget friendly, at least for me. I mean, budget friendly in my estimation, where it's like less than $1, so I can use it in my decks. This is as close as it's ever been, and if it gets reprinted again, I can see this one dropping down into my budget. The Reaver Cleaver. I think this one's decently new. Equipment for 3 mana and red. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player planeswalker, create that many tokens. Equip 3. So yeah, if you like treasures, this is going to give you a lot of them. I mean, Voltron could utilize it. Treasure decks can obviously utilize it as well. $18. That'd be a big reprint. Warden Power Stone, not exactly a big reprint, but I'm happy to see it reprinted because I love this card. Enters battlefield tap, cost 3, taps for 2. So basically a very slow, overcosted, not overcosted, but compared to Soul Ring, overcosted. But again, some out there think Soul Ring probably never should have been allowed in the format because it's extremely efficient. That being said, this is a very good card still in Commander. Absolutely love it. Very efficient compared to many other mana rocks out there. And yeah, sure, drop that price down even further. Eldrazi Monument. I can't remember if this one's been actually confirmed by Wizards. I think this one has. But let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong on this one. But I believe Wizards actually put out that this one is... Did they put that one out there? I don't want to say that because I might be wrong on that. So again, you can double check what Wizards has spoiled so far on their website, or actually Scryfall will have those as well for the actual confirmed spoilers. So make sure you keep that in mind. That being said, a great card for, well, any kind of a deck that wants to protect its creatures and has a decent amount of creature fodder. Creature control +1, have flying and indestructible, cost 5, beginning of upkeep, sacrifice creature, can't sacrifice this. Next up, Forsaken Monument, amazing for colorless decks, gives your colorless creatures +2/+2. Doubles up your permanents that tap for colorless, or doesn't double up, it gives you an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. So yeah, again, huge for colorless decks. Not really that good for other ones. Then we've got Sylvan Safekeeper. A creature, a 1/1 human wizard for a single green mana, sacrifice a land, give a creature shroud, a great way to protect your creatures. It also works very well in decks that actually care about sacrificing lands or getting them back out of your graveyard. Wirewood Symbiote, I can't talk. 1/1 insect for a single green mana, bounce an elf back, control your hand, untap target creature, activate its ability once each turn. Although it does say activate only once each turn, there are definitely still some combos that you can utilize this with. Moving on, Endurance. Yeah, bringing these back I think would be pretty big for Wizards, and yeah, they're quite expensive each. So this would be a cycle of elemental incarnations that they'd be bringing back most likely. A 3/4 with flash and reach, costs 3 mana in green, enters the battlefield. Up to 1 target player puts all the cards in their graveyard at the bottom of the library in a random order. You can evoke it though by exiling a green card from your hand. Then there's Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, 6/6 Elder Giant for 3 mana in Simic. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice unless it escaped. You can escape it for green, blue, exiling 5 other cards in your graveyard. Enters the battlefield or attacks, gain 3 life, draw a card, play a land card for your hand on the battlefield. Yeah, it is a commander. It's a card in the 99. It's everything Simic. It's ramp and card draw. Bray Ethereum Shaper, 4 mana, different colors, essentially everything but green. And this is one of the quintessential artifact commanders. 4/4 human. Enters the battlefield. 2 Thopters are made. Pay 2, sacrifice 2 artifacts. 3 damage to a player planeswalker. Give a creature -4/4 until turn, or gain 5 life. A very popular commander. Dropping that price down a little more. Grief. Again, these elemental incarnations are quite popular and quite expensive. I think most of their popularity comes from other formats, though, but sure, they still see some playing Commander. 3/2 Menace Elemental Incarnation for 4 mana in black. Enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a non-land card from it. They discard that card. You can exile a black card from your hand to actually evoke this. Sifter of Skulls, a great card for Aristocrat style decks. Again, might just drop down into my budget again. Finally, it's been a long time. 4/3 Eldrazi with Devoid for 4 mana in black. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you get a 1/1 Coastal Eldrazi Scion creature token, and it has sacrificed this for a single colorless mana. Subtlety, yet another elemental incarnation. This one's $18. These are all so expensive. 3/3 Flash Flying Elemental Incarnation for 4 mana in blue. Enters the battlefield, chooses up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell its owner puts on the top or bottom of their library. Evoke it by exiling a blue card. Fury, the red Elemental Incarnation for 3/3 double strike for 5 mana. In red, enters the battlefield, 4 damage, divide as you choose among any number of target creatures or planeswalkers. Exile a red card from your hand to evoke it. Capacaner, a 4/4 Turtle Warrior with Improvise. Your artifacts can help cast it for 6 mana in blue. Ward 4, artifact, enters the battlefield under control, get a counter on it, can't be blocked this turn. I think this one's actually more impactful in other formats from what I've heard. Crick, or Crick, I never know how to say this one. Son of Yawgmoth. Yeah, this one's very, very popular in Commander. Very, very powerful in Commander. Kind of broken. 2/2. That has a lifelink for 7 mana, but that's 4 in Phyrexian Black, Phyrexian Black, Phyrexian Black. For each black at a mana cost, you may pay 2 life for play that mana. Basically turns all your black pips into Phyrexian Black. When you cast a black spell, put a counter on Crick. It's a crazy good commander. Moron, the boundless 6/6 shapeshifter for 7 mana with Changeling. Enters the battlefield as a creature type. So the toad type costs Wooburg less to cast. Reduce the amount of colored mana you pay. Other creature control the chosen type get ++1. Basically a catch-all for like any kind of a tribal commander. This is just like, hey, do you want to do tribal bears in 5 color? Here you go. You can do this basically for any. Do you want to do tribal starfish? Sure, there you go, because there's no legendary starfish out there. So you can also do like a more fun monuments deck like I did if you want to. Archon of Cruelty, a 6/6 Archon with flying that costs 8 mana in black. Enters the battlefield or attacks. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Discards a card, lose 3 life. You draw a card and lose and gain 3 life. Yeah, a lot of mean things can happen with this one. Pretty good card in Commander. The only instant that's been revealed so far, I believe, is Brainstorm, but I think that one actually, again, this is where I say, like, don't actually just believe everything, because I want to point this one out. This was revealed in a leak, but I believe Blake from Wizards, Blake Rasmussen, actually said that I think the way that Brainstorm was revealed, it was like behind another leaked card, but the leaked card, I think, was confirmed to be real, if I remember correctly, but Brainstorm, which was hidden behind it, so like you couldn't see like that it had like the right set symbol or all these other things, was actually not confirmed to be in the set. So whoever was doing that on the internet was just trolling people, which, you know, if someone's got, you know, leaks, they might just troll people every now and then. So Brainstorm, again, I believe, was shown up in a leak, was hypothesized to be in the set, but I believe confirmed by Wizards not to be in the set, so keep that in mind. Barbarian Ring. A land that can tap for a red mana, 1 damage to you as well, though. Threshold, pay a red, tap, sacrifice it, 2 damage to our creature or player. Yeah, a land from my childhood. It is $1.73. I did not realize that. Definitely Coliseum. Oh my goodness. In that same cycle, though, but this one is $19. Tap for a blue, it deals 1 damage to you. Threshold, pay a blue, tap, sacrifice it. Target player draws 3 cards and discards 3 cards from their hand. That's a pretty good effect. So yeah, I can see how that one's $19 when it's never been reprinted, even though it's uncommon. So a reprint would be quite nice for that one. Grist the Hunger Tide, a planeswalker that does a lot of things. I'm not going to read it all right now. There's so much text on that card. But yes, basically, this one is, I think this one also can be your commander, technically, with the way it's worded, because it's not on the battlefield. It's a 1/1 insect, so I think the rules committee is like, yeah, sure, it's your commander as well. There you go. Insect tribal kind of shenanigans. Ugin the Ineffable, again, it's Planeswalker. It's got a lot of text on it. I'm not going to read that. Basically, it really helps with colorless costs, essentially, reducing those costs and stuff. So it's a very good card. Untag Sorceries, we've got Untagged. That's how it's labeled on Moxfield. Meltdown, this one, I believe, has been confirmed by Wizards. I didn't realize this was a $10 card. Wow. Okay. I did not realize it was $10. Sorcery for X and a red. Destroy each artifact with total casting cost X or less. Mana value X or less essentially these days. So yeah, a mass board wipe for artifacts that is, again, variable. So like if you have higher costing mana rocks artifacts, you can keep them around potentially. Persist, a lovely reanimation effect. 2 mana in black. Return target knowledge creature from your grave or the battlefield. -1/-1 counter on it. Very low to the ground reanimation effect. That's quite nice. All is dust. Gross. Each player sacrifices all color permanents they control. Yeah, if you're playing a colorless deck, 7 mana for a one-sided board wipe is pretty gross. And I believe that was the last out of all these. So again, please, please, please be on your toes during, I was going to say spoiler season, but like leak season. Whenever leak season comes around, which is kind of random these days because you never know. It was like last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, we had an absurd amount of leaks, like leaks left and right. Like again, like this, like half the set seemed to be leaked by the time spoiler season started. And it seems like that's kind of where we're at right now. But again, as convincing as some of these leaks might seem, do not, just commit to thinking that they are 100% legit until they are confirmed. Again, you can gut check, think like, okay, 99.9% chance that one is real because, hey, it's in this same like picture with another card that Wizards has already confirmed that is real. Cool, so it's probably real, but again, don't just like 100% buy into that and then buy a commander deck around that commander or card or whatnot and then be disappointed when it doesn't actually end up being real. And also, again, just do some, if you need to do some research, like dig a little further. Don't just like see the image on the internet and say like, oh, it has to be real. Like, again, like see what the comments are on Reddit, see if other people have like looked up on that image before and be like, oh, again, like this one, like, hey, we found the art. Another artist had actually created this that wasn't labeled on the card and it's from 4 years ago. Yeah, that's not real. So keep all that in mind, please. Now, with all that said, of course, comment below your thoughts on all this. If you are interested in any of the cards I mentioned on this episode, please, 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 again, wait potentially. Again, if you are willing to wait for these cards, because again, if they are real, if they do end up being real, some have already been revealed by Wizards. You can see that again on their website or on Scryfall, I believe, has like the actual confirmed spoilers. You can, wait to pick up some of those cards or pick up some of these cards until the set actually drops. And when that happens, again, the prices typically go down quite a bit on, reprint value. So there you go. So yes, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. Comment below with your thoughts on this episode. Comment below with your thoughts on these potential leaks. And of course, as always, thanks again. And well, stay tuned to this channel because you don't know when any more leaks are going to be coming out because my goodness, things are crazy right now. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.